She experienced the loss of her spouse and is now a single mother as well as a physician. Moreover, she holds the position of my supervisor, and she always appeared quite fatigued. Almost instinctively, I find myself desiring to extend a helping hand to her. My name is Mark Anderson, a regular single guy who works as a nurse. Though I've contemplated the idea of settling down and getting married someday, my present situation involves caring for my niece as if she were my own daughter, which keeps me from feeling lonely. You see, my domestic circumstances are somewhat out of the ordinary. My sister Emily became a mother at the tender age of 20. While she was married, her husband was still a student. For reasons unknown, they divorced prior to her giving birth, and she returned to our family home. Nurturing a child is undoubtedly challenging. Frankly, she couldn't manage without the support of everyone around her. During that period, I had been contemplating moving out, but I couldn't bear to leave my pregnant sister and aging parents behind, so I remained. Once my niece was born, a new set of challenges presented themselves. Lily, my niece, has a tendency to be quite fussy, and the entire family had to be on constant alert, particularly when it came to caring for a newborn every 3 hours. There were days when I took over to provide Emily with some respite. Some might argue that it's a mother's responsibility, but given Emily's youth and her struggle to adjust to her new situation, I felt compelled to help out. It's not as if fate would strike me down for lending a hand every now and then, right? Given my nursing background, I am always prepared to offer assistance. I excel at caregiving and possess the necessary stamina, which made it easy for me to step in when Emily was exhausted. As a result of this, I've developed a deep affection for Lily, treating her as if she were my own child. Now, Lily is 5 years old. While she is becoming increasingly independent and a bit cheeky, she has blossomed into an endearing little girl. With her no longer being a newborn, there's less that requires my attention. Hence, I search for opportunities to be of service to her, such as accompanying her to her weekend activities. Assisting my adorable niece by dropping her off or frequently picking her up is certainly not a major ordeal. Due to my involvement in childcare to a certain extent, I've become intrigued by the prospect of marriage. However, I don't take it too seriously at the moment because of Lily. The reality of raising a child extends far beyond mere feelings of cuteness and affection. If I encounter someone with whom I am eager to share the lifelong responsibility of raising a child, I might contemplate marriage. That's essentially the current situation. But let's steer the conversation in another direction. Listen to me. By the way, while I was pondering this issue, I happened to be taking a walk on my day off when I heard a child crying loudly nearby. The sound of a child's wailing, a temper tantrum. Young children possess limited vocabulary. It's quite normal for them to experience emotional outbursts when their ability to express their feelings is limited. I mused to myself, "This is challenging," and directed my attention towards the source of the noise. There stood a boy of about 5 years old along with a woman. Hold on a moment. Olivia? Mark, what are you doing here? As I observed the woman, who appeared to be the mother of the tantrum-throwing boy, I was taken aback, and she appeared equally surprised. Her name is Olivia Miller. She holds the profession of a physician and occupies a superior role in my workplace. Dedicated to her work, kind to all, yet demanding of herself, she is undoubtedly a highly competent doctor who enjoys respect from both colleagues and patients. Well, at least she was. No, her competence remains intact, and I still hold her in high regard. Nevertheless, the past year saw the tragic loss of her husband in an accident. Consequently, she now assumes the role of a single mother, navigating the challenges of raising her son alone, a responsibility that complicates her ability to work late shifts or night schedules. Despite her diligent efforts and reliance on daycare, her job performance is inevitably affected when her son falls ill, necessitating her absence from work. Being someone who has experienced childcare firsthand, I admire Olivia and understand that children frequently fall ill. However, in a workplace populated predominantly by unmarried individuals, criticism from colleagues has grown more pronounced lately. "Apologies for the commotion. Please stop crying." Olivia chastises the boy, yet his crying only intensifies. Clearly, this situation is less than ideal. "I'm sorry, Miss Miller. What triggered your son's outburst?" "He was attempting to ascend the slide in a reverse manner a while ago when I cautioned him about the danger and advised him to stop. This is the aftermath." "I understand," I reflect. Presumably, the boy desired to play by climbing up the slide. When his mother intervened due to the potential hazard, he likely threw a tantrum because he failed to grasp why it was unsafe to begin with. The boy's name is Ethan, so I crouch down beside him and inquire, "Ethan, you wanted to climb the slide, correct?" "Climb the slide? However, you see, if you do that, other children won't be able to slide down." "What made you want to climb it?" "Because I want to go up high." I methodically query Ethan about his intentions. As it turns out, he simply wanted to ascend to a higher point, but he wasn't keen on using the stairs. Having gained this insight, I proposed the jungle gym to Ethan. "The jungle gym is even higher than the slide and more challenging to scale, Ethan. You might not be able to make it," I suggest. Suddenly, Ethan ceases his crying and exclaims, "I'll climb it," proceeding to ascend unaided. Impressive. Up until now, you wouldn't heed any of my advice. Perhaps he sensed your anxiety, Miss Miller. What? Maybe Ethan wished to ascend to a higher point and earn your praise. Your smiles accompany your compliments. In his own way, perhaps he desired to elicit a smile from you. As I voice this realization, it dawns on me that the boy's behavior could have stemmed from a basic desire for connection and understanding. I fix my gaze on Ethan. Instances of similar experiences cross my mind. Children often pick up on their parents' tension and impatience. When youngsters sense their parents' fatigue, they strive to uplift their spirits through their own means. Well, in my niece's case, I ensure she rests before reaching the point of a tantrum, making this situation quite unusual for me. True to form, Ethan successfully reaches the top of the jungle gym, and upon receiving praise from Mrs. Smithfield, he smiles as if nothing untoward had occurred. Having had his spirits buoyed, he then moves onto the swing, and we settle onto a nearby bench. Miss Miller's expression is rather serious. I sense it's time for me to lend an ear. "I apologize, Mr. Anderson. I'm causing a disturbance." "You're not causing any trouble at all. More importantly, you don't seem quite well. You appear quite fatigued. Have you managed to get some rest?" I gently inquire, prompting her to open up about her genuine sentiments, her voice trembling. "Ever since my husband passed away, Ethan has become more distant from me. It feels as though he prefers his father over me. When I see him crying, I can't help but feel like I'm failing as a mother." While speaking, she strains to hold back tears. She has been pushing herself to the limit, and she proceeds to recount her struggles after her husband's demise. Ethan's behavior has grown increasingly rebellious, perhaps as a result of the stress stemming from his father's passing. This defiance has extended to his time at daycare, where he engages in problematic behavior such as taking toys from other children and engaging in fights, posing a significant challenge even for the daycare staff. A daycare teacher recommended counseling, and Olivia obliged, although it appeared to compound her stress. The counselor suggested that I foster a closer relationship with my child, implying that I was lacking in affection. It felt as though they were insinuating that I, as his mother, was deficient in my love for him, attributing his behavior to my inadequacy. It seemed as though everything I had done up until that point was invalidated. Frankly, it was quite a blow. She opted to reduce her work hours to spend more time with Ethan, leading to their current outing at the park. Nonetheless, he remains unresponsive to her outside of the home environment, and because the park is situated near a road and populated by other children, he can't roam freely to prevent potential accidents and conflicts. Essentially, neither Ethan nor Miss Miller can find relief, thus perpetuating a detrimental cycle. I simply want Ethan to enjoy unrestricted playtime. I can't shake the feeling that situations like this require a male figure. Miss Miller confides with a pained expression, watching as Ethan rejoins his play on the jungle gym after his time on the swing. Her parents are elderly, and she's likely been unable to rely on anyone thus far. Observing her in this state, I involuntarily suggest, what about enrolling him in a sports club? Before I realize it, she turns to me. Huh? Oh, I was just thinking aloud. How about enrolling him in the same sports club my niece attends? Truth be told, my niece Lily went through a period when she couldn't secure a spot at daycare. While daycare isn't everything, it does offer various learning opportunities. We wanted to acclimate her to group activities. My sister had signed her up for a sports club back then. There, Lily could engage in physical activities and play to her heart's content, a routine she maintains to this day. For parents, it's a chance to watch their children stay active, and once they reach elementary school age, parents need only drop them off and pick them up. This arrangement affords parents some time to themselves. I accompanied Lily to the sports club, and it's genuinely a wonderful place with delightful children participating. I believe they're offering a trial session next week. Whether you choose to enroll or not, I thought it might be a positive experience for your son. I hadn't really considered such activities, she responds with a mixture of surprise and skepticism, convinced that it wouldn't change much. Nonetheless, she agrees to attend the trial session with me the following week, and I communicate this to Lily. The trial involves mingling with the regular attendees on the jungle gym and mats, engaging in simple games and warm-up exercises. While Lily might be taken aback by the sudden appearance of a stranger, she seems enthused about making new friends, which puts me at ease. And so, the day of the trial class arrives. Miss Miller and Ethan both show up in tracksuits, attire suited for easy movement. Admittedly, Miss Miller displays considerable nervousness initially, but Ethan, who doesn't appear to possess shyness, swiftly befriends Lily and the others. They engage in races, play with a ball, all without causing any disturbances. Lily, being the same age as Ethan and a seasoned member of the club, assumes the role of an elder sister, lending him her ball and offering guidance on donning his shoes. Witnessing Lily's growth warms my heart. Mom, look! I threw the ball way over there. Ethan, fully integrated into the group, proudly reports his throwing achievement to Miss Miller. Seeing his performance, Miss Miller beams, responding with delight. That's fantastic. As she watches him interact with the other children, her eyes well up with tears. It's a source of joy. At the workplace, I had never glimpsed this facet of Miss Miller. A gentle mother gazes lovingly at her son. Her demeanor exudes such beauty that I'm momentarily captivated. Naturally, that's how it is, right? After joining the club, the boy grows increasingly content, sleeping soundly at night, behaving more calmly outdoors, and ceasing to cause disruptions at daycare. Additionally, Miss Miller has grown more empathetic, not solely focused on looking after her son, but also considering the message he wishes to convey. She has regained her cheerful disposition and rekindled her gentle nature. Although criticism persists in the workplace, patient's confidence in her is gradually being restored, and the volume of complaints is diminishing. I owe you a debt of gratitude, Mr. Anderson. I was under considerable strain. I felt as though I had to shoulder everything on my own, but that only exacerbated Ethan's stress. Now, I can finally breathe a bit easier. Thank you so much. Miss Miller, donning a tracksuit as she plays with her son today, takes the opportunity to express her gratitude during a break. I respond with a smile. I'm relieved to hear that you're finding some relief. Please don't hesitate to ask for help if you need it. I've got quite a bit of flexibility these days. As Lily and Ethan continue to play together, their bond deepens, transforming the challenges of single parenthood into a shared journey marked by understanding and mutual support. I also find myself spending ample time with Ethan, which has brought us quite close. Eventually, I receive an invitation from Miss Miller for dinner. It's framed as an opportunity to introduce me to the sports club, and Ethan wants us to dine together, so I'm welcomed into their home. This unexpected turn of events leaves me feeling quite excited. Of course, it's entirely innocent, but being in the company of such a beautiful woman and in her home no less, well, can you blame me for feeling elated? Ultimately, this dinner ends up revolving mostly around engaging with Ethan. This sets off a chain of events in which I become a regular presence during their family outings. On occasion, Miss Miller extends the invitation, but Ethan, too, sometimes makes a specific request for me to join them. On one outing to the Dinosaur Museum, the people around us mistake me for his father. It's a bit awkward, but Ethan confidently declares, "He's my other dad. I have two dads." That moment truly warms my heart. Thus, when he turns 6, I approach Miss Miller or Olivia and pose this question. "Ethan, if it's okay with you, can I come live with you as well?" You don't have to call me Dad, you can continue to call me Uncle. I just want to be a part of your family. Can you guess Ethan's response after hearing my heartfelt request? With a thoroughly puzzled expression, he responds, "Uncle, you're already a dad." Olivia and I can't help but burst into laughter. It dawns on us that we adults are the ones overthinking the situation. Ethan's wish is clear, he wants me to be his father. So let's embark on this journey together, shall we? After Ethan's bedtime, Olivia turns to me. A renewed sense of responsibility washes over me. Olivia had been married before, and she has Ethan to consider as well. We understand that financial stability will be essential moving forward, so we opt against a lavish wedding. Nevertheless, we do decide to take a photo together, just the three of us. Ethan finds Olivia's appearance in her wedding dress quite astounding, and though his curiosity creates a bit of chaos during the photo shoot, it's an enjoyable experience. On Olivia's finger, 2 wedding rings shine. It was my suggestion. "Olivia, if you're comfortable with it, could you wear your late husband's ring alongside your own?" "What?" "Well, Ethan's father is also your late husband, and it doesn't seem right for only me to be in the picture." She laughs and says, "That's what I appreciate about you," as she slips on her old wedding ring after a long while. Though this should have eased my apprehension, it really didn't. My expression in the photo is rather stiff, but that's inevitable. Nevertheless, I make sure to convey my sentiments to them both. I gaze directly at Olivia in her wedding attire and at Ethan, who's sporting a suit, and I express, "I love you both. I cherish you." "Aw, I love you too," Olivia responds. "And I love you too, Dad," Ethan chimes in. Those words elicit a warm embrace from me, and we all share a hearty laugh together,